If you date a lot of people who don't treat you right and who basically take advantage of the situation, you may be asking yourself, why do I allow myself to date these jerks? The greatest thing about dating a jerk is that the only person you have to change is yourself. You have to find out what your patterns are and what's causing it. And so I decided I'd put this together to help you go through. It's kind of like a video with a homework assignment. So as you watch it, please take out your journal and go along and write these things down so you actually can think about it. Okay, the first thing is you have to understand why you chase people that don't want you. Do they send you mixed messages? I mean, a lot of times you're going after somebody and they'll do this thing, this mind game thing, sending you mixed messages, and that's what keeps you going. Or do you lack closure? Do they say stuff and it's just not how you think about things, so you're always going back for closure? Are you addicted to the chase? Many people are, and it's no shame in it, but until you claim it, it's going to continue to go on. Many times people like rejection because it gives them something to chase after. I'm not one of those people. I don't understand it, but I do know that it happens for sure. Is this relationship or crush your biggest source of entertainment? Or, where you're getting your rush, your dopamines, because that's part of the addiction. If it is, if you get a lot out of having the drama of this relationship and your dopamines go up, that's going to just keep you going back for more. Are you obsessed with winning a person over being with them? In other words, is the obsession more about you being after them than it is really sharing time together with them? Once again, it's all about how you think hooking up or going out with a person is feeding that cycle. What I'm going to ask you to do next is probably the harder part. Get clarity on what you want and what you don't. Know what you want means you're going to have to think and write it down. Believe it is possible. Take action to make it happen. Until you make changes, nothing is going to change. So how are you going to take action? You're going to ask yourself, what kind of a person do I want to be? When I'm with someone, what kind of a person do I want to be? Because whoever we're with, part of the attraction is we like who we are with that person. Secondly, what kind of relationship do you want? And that's an important thing. Do you want it equal? Do you want them taking on more responsibility? Do you want to be pampered? Do you want to pamper each other? What are you trying to co-create? And if you only know what you want, what would be the opposite of that? So if you can't say, well, this is what I don't want, many people can't, then think of what you do want and then go the opposite. So if you want independence, a thing you wouldn't want is to be controlled or someone constantly monitoring you. That would drive you crazy. Number 3, destroy the limiting beliefs about yourself. We have so many beliefs that we got from our parents passed on to us. One of those was all men cheat or all women cheat. These are limiting. And what they do is they disrupt our ability to trust. If you can't trust your partner, you're not going to trust yourself, because it only makes sense. If you're worried that they're going to cheat on you so you don't trust them, then you're going to second guess everything you do because you don't trust them. That a limiting factor like that needs help with a mental health professional. You need to tell them, I've got all these limiting beliefs from my crazy parents and I'm trying to get rid of them so I don't drag them into my dating life. Believe me, a therapist could help you with that. Whereas telling a friend, they might just be, oh yeah, I know, me too, or something like that. That may be supportive, but it's not going to help you break this pattern. What's the solution? List all the things you like about yourself. Give at least 10 minimum. Ask close friends to remind you, like, what do you really see as an asset of mine? What stands out about me to you? When you ask your friends, they're really good because they can validate some of the things you wrote. They also can add to your pile in order to believe in yourself and believe you can have a successful relationship. You need that support, that validation that you do indeed have strengths that you can bring to a relationship. List all the achievements and moments in your life that make you proud. Some people are so defeated in dating that they can't think of one thing they've achieved or why anyone would want them. That's a terrible ideology to go into a dating scene with, because then you're just picking up scraps. You're basically choosing jerks because you don't think you can do better. I think another fourth is breaking the pattern. In order to break the pattern, then that means you have to do things differently. Instead of going for that person that seems familiar, like somebody you grew up with or somebody from your family, because oftentimes, especially if you came from a family that was toxic or neglectful or abandoned you or weren't together, so they had many partners. If you had those kinds of parents, then it's going to be very hard for you to choose someone who is the opposite of that, because they're going to seem boring or it's going to seem awkward. What I also encourage you to do is look at your old texting habits. Did you text them all the time, or did you wait for them to text? Who decides what you talk about during a conversation? If it was always them, you need to break that habit and you need to start bringing some conversation to the table, or going to places you know you will see them. If you're trying to break a pattern of a jerk, don't go back to the same places where you might see them again. Are continually checking their social media to see who they're with. No, you're not going to do that, because what happens if you keep banging your head against the wall? It gets sore. Nothing changes. You are breaking those old patterns, leaving all the losers and jerks you used to date new people who are going to add something sufficient to your life, something significant. You need to be able to get rid of all the old chats, all the old texts, all the old emails, and you need to make a break. Stop limiting yourself and try going out to new events, meeting new people that you can be with. I think part of the reason people get so discouraged in the dating game is they wait for the partner to change. That's old thinking, and it's not helpful for you. You need to go into every date that you break up with one and you start a new one thinking, what did I learn from that old date? And what did that person teach me significant about myself? And then you need to go in with a new, clearer set of eyes so you can date someone who may potentially turn out to be your significant other.